Row 3, it's Boris Maximov and Alexander Van Meeuwen ahead of Albert Friend and Felipe Perez. Carlos Nees and Thomas Van Vliet ran out the top 10. Glenn Schwillens, Boris Verhaag, row 6. Row 7, it's Thomas Verheyen and Jent Vermeulen. Lieke van Berkel and Len Abbas, row 8. Zega Fransens, Dan van der Reken, Victor Reutz, Rory Armstrong and Marlon Di Salvo round out. Front of the grid, and the back end of the grid. So, we now go on to their official formation lap. So it's about who gets the biggest vote of confidence for themselves going into the final race day of the season. So Boris Maximov knows that he doesn't need to get a ticket, but he wants to make sure that he wins this title. It was nip and tuck between a guest driver that joined us back at Marienburg, Tom Sörler, who took a third and 3 victories to win the weekend ahead of the third and final round of the Euro Trophy this season in the second weekend of July. But with a lot more competition, 21 drivers, that's 10.5 rows of competitors on the grid, Maximov knows that he's got his work cut out. So the drivers making their way in towards turn number 12. They're told by our clerk of the course to get into the relevant formation, which will be side by side, 2 by 2. So Sudersky, Babacek, Van Rooyen, Ashcroft, Maximov, Van Meeuwen, Friend, Rees, Nees and Van Vliet. That's your top 10. Out of the final corner, into the tram lines. Revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights are out, we're off and racing. Good start by Sudersky, as well as Maximov, who now slots up into second position. Albert Friend not too far behind. It's a little bit of a concertina effect going through into turn 2 for the first time. Everyone trying to squabble. And Mats Van Rooyen has dropped out of the top 5. He's down in around about 7th place. Carlos Nees nearly got compromised in the process. Jacob Ashcroft also dropped a few positions down in the start phase. They're all through turn number 6 and onto the Europolan for the first time. There's a few other drivers, such as Van Rooyen, trying to do his level best to keep pushing forward. So is Jacob Ashcroft, as they're making their way through turn number 9. And flirting through Boris Verhaag, mechanic these days by Sophie Lancic. There's been a film fixture in this paddock. Oh, that was a robust move there, Rory Armstrong. That was up the inside of Victor Reutz. There's Carlos Nees also trying to get through. He's being slipstream past down the start-finish straight, and they're all jockeying for position behind. Looks to be as... Oh, that was very, very clumsy indeed. That might have been Alexander Van Meeuwen in the 127, which it was. We've got the 133 of Boris Verhaag. Jacob Ashcroft now in 8th position. Boris Maximov and Albert Friend running out the top 3. So Sudersky got the best start of anybody. Babacek down in 4th at the present. It's now Mats Van Rooyen and Jacob Ashcroft go back into the battle for 7th place. They go through turn number 9, as do pretty much the majority of the field. 21 drivers, rounded out by Bran van der Weken in the number 196 from Belgium. Still continuing. Lap 2 about to be completed, and it's Max Sudersky leading the way. Maximov in 2nd, Albert Friend, Denny Babacek, Thomas Verheyen, Glenn Schwillens running at the top 5 in the 180 as Alexander Van Meeuwen goes side by side across the start-finish line with Mats Van Rooyen. This could open the door for maybe the likes of Carlos Nees and Boris Verhaag in the 133. Not too far behind them is Lieke van Berkel. She was in Micromax earlier on this year and made the move to Mini a little bit later on this season. She's currently ahead of the likes of Thomas Van Vliet, Jent Vermeulen, Felipe Perez and Rory Armstrong, who's now made his way up from 20th on the grid to 16th. And there's been a tangle between Van Meeuwen and Nees on the exit of turn number 7. And Nies has ended up sideways and into the barriers on the right-hand side. And the German driver gets out of the cart, pulls it away. If the marshals start to resist, it's game over in the race, because once they touch that cart, you're being given assistance. So 3 minutes down, 10 to go. Leaders are currently separated by just 6 tenths. 8 tenths if you include Denny Babacek. Here's the 161. That is Len Abbas versus Victor Reutz. And the 176. And Reutz neatly clips the inside of the curbs through turn 2. Helps to rotate the cart. Rory Armstrong's made his way up into 13th position behind Genk as again the 176 and the 161, Victor Reutz and Len Abbas from Belgium and Germany respectively, running out what is going to be the top 17. 182 of Thomas van Vliet coming under pressure from Lieke van Berkel, Genk Rory Armstrong, and all behind. Look for a move up the inside of Van Berkel. 185 did not allow that to happen. But there's been a send up ahead, as Albert Friend has just had Denny Babacek go up the inside through turn 2. Into turn number 6 they go again. The 180 of Thomas Verheyen battling away. That will be with, I believe, Max van Rooyen. But whilst the top 4 have been battling away, Jacob Ashcroft has started chasing them down. With 8 minutes and a quarter still to go, the number 142 from Great Britain, and then with the team from MDB Motorsport, who also this year have run a particular YouTube celebrity who used to run this championship. Bram Mosselada now goes under the YouTube alias Red Actions. He's been racing in Chrono. He's also raced in Roskilde. Jan and Kevin Magnus's home track in Denmark quite recently. Seven minutes and 3/4 still to go. Denny Babacek really closing in on the two, battling over the championship lead. At the moment, it is looking a bit more favourable to the man leading the race at the moment. Swiderski. Be the case, but it's close between the two. Let's just say that much. Swiderski gets his head down on the run down from turns 9 to 10. Easy one for Alexander van Leeuwen, because with that little touch that he had with Carlos Nies, who has retired from the race on lap number 4, there's a battle happening between the 115 of Marlon Bisalvo, the number 180 of Thomas Verheyen, who's sending shots up the inside. We've got the number 114 of Zega Francis just adrift from them, and here comes the move for the lead and for second. 6.5 minutes to go. And now, there's an assist and a half, because Maximov took the lead. With Babacek getting through on Swiderski. Now they've repaid the favour, the pair of them. So Babacek goes into the lead. Albert Friend now goes into 3rd place. Means that Maximov now has to start fighting. So 4th. That's 13 points. Maximov retakes the position off of Albert Friend. And Ashcroft is with them. Slipstream is ever so helpful around here at Karting Genk. But what was a top 3 battle for the race victory could very fastly and very quickly become a top 5 squabble for the lead. Remember what happened in the pre-final? Top 4 were covered by just over 9 tenths of a second. Ashcroft waiting for a chance to see if he can thread the eye of the needle and get past either or both Albert Friend and Boris Maximov. Five minutes to go, 8 minutes completed. Side by side, that was more than likely going to be Lieke van Buchel and Felipe Reyes that were going into turn 12, and Reyes has got through to take 10th. Now with 4 minutes and 40 still to go, here's where the chess game comes in, folks. Albie Friend has done the fastest lap of the race on lap 7, 59.278. But Babicek, 2 victories in Micromax. He put he had a second in the pre-final. Now he's leading. So into turn 12 they go once again. Now, in the meantime, Albert Friend has been passed by Jacob Ashcroft. So, unlike the Grand Festival a few weeks ago back at Kerpen in Germany, they were running in separate classes. This one, they're running in the same class. And 20 still to go as Babicek leads them down into turn 10. Victor Reutz looks to have pulled the cart either off the track or into the pit lane. So the 176 is out of this race and will not score any points. It's only the top 15 in each race that score. 25 for a win, 20 for second, 16 for third, 13 for fourth, 11 for fifth. There's Maximov up the inside of Swiderski. So that is a significant change. Still with 2 minutes and 25 seconds plus an additional lap. This could give the opportunity for someone waiting in the wings. And that driver looks to be the one in fourth place, Jacob Ashcroft. Into turn number 12 once again they go. Last time they were covered by 5.5 tenths. What's the gap between the top four? It's 0.585. Still, the battles wage on a little bit further down the order because Felipe Reyes is going to be battling away with the likes of Thomas van Vliet. From Moonen, and just behind them, a few others. Just over a minute to go. Send a little bit further back, courtesy of Mats van Rooyen on Glenn Schwillens from SP Motorsport. That's a positional change for P6. Babicek has a slender lead, but Maximov now is in second, but he's coming under pressure from the driver behind, the number 142 of Jacob Ashcroft. Max Swiderski is positioning himself to be a spectator and then reacts accordingly if anything transpires in front. come down to the wire on how soon it might be before the last lap board goes out, because the leaders making their way through into turn 12. And lap number 13, it is going to be tight. 2 seconds to go when Babacek crossed the line. Gap now down to less than a tenth and a half. So we're going to go to a total of 15 laps. Penultimate lap very much underway. A little bit further back, the 107. And Felipe Reyes gets through on the 133 of Boris Verhaag. Timer hit 0. Leaders now making their way through into turn 7 off of the Europlan and into turn number 8 for what's going to be the 14th and penultimate time. There they are, as now Ashcroft goes for the move out the inside, and the 142 gets through on Boaz Maximov for second position. Maximov was looking up the inside. They're going to go side by side, and Ashcroft had nowhere else to go really, but Swiderski's going side by side, wheel to wheel with Maximov through turn 12. He's going to try and get the undercut. He is, and he's pulling alongside. Is he going to pull one in front? He does. So Maximov was second. Ashcroft sent it through on turn 9. He retaliated through turn 10, and then all of a sudden both of them got through on the approach into and out of turn number 12. Albert Friend, in the meantime, has kept himself out of harm's way and staying in a solid fifth position, which will net him 75 points. And because of the fact that he's got no results from the opening race weekend at Karting Genk, it means that he doesn't really have to worry about the old drop scores, because that's really one less thing that he needs to worry about. Can he be in the top 5 at the end of the championship season? Well, out of the final corner, he's not just won in Micromax this weekend. Denny Babacek does the double in the finals on day 1 in both Micro and Mini. And with that, he wins ahead of Jacob Ashcroft from the United Kingdom by just under 7/10 of a second after 15 laps of racing. Max Swiderski, in many respects, will be the one that's had a few more points. He's had 41 so far today. Boaz Maximov, considering he finished third in race, he actually finished a little bit further down. He actually finished in 5th place in the opening race. He's only scored 24 points when you look at it from that perspective. 11 in the first race, 13 in the second. Albert Friend takes another finish. It was 7th in the previous race. It's now, in this particular occasion, it's 5th. Mats van Rooyen rounds out the top 6 out of Felipe Reyes, Boris Verhaag, Thomas van Vliet, Glenn Schwillens, Jent Vermeulen, Thomas Verheyen. Rory Armstrong picks up 3 points in 13th out of Nico van Berkel and Marlon Di Salvo, who ran at the top 15. Difficult afternoon to end for Alexander Van Meeuwen, out of the points in 16th. Zeger Fransen 17th, Len Abbas and Bran van der Weken running at the 19 strong. Victor Reutz unfortunately out on lap 7, and Carlos Nees on turn 7 after a little bit of contact with another driver who would end up in the wall on turn 7 on lap number 4.